right. So let's start with two truths and a lie.
Yeah.
What do you got for us?
All right. So I was a gymnast for 12 years.
Well, okay, before you go on, what did you do in the gym? Because this is important.
Oh man, I did the sawhorse, the rings,
Okay.
backflips, and also did the somersaults with the presentation and the jumping.
Okay, that's cheerleading.
That's gymnast.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
I'm just like, I was a cheerleader personally, so I'm just saying, like.
Okay. It was the drum program. It was pretty small.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so what were the other ones?
Okay. I play the drums, especially hardcore drums, and if I can get into a mosh pit, the better.
Okay.
One of the best shows I ever played, I had a bloody nose from getting an elbow to the face, and I still completed the set.
Really?
Yeah.
Sounds like fun, dude.
Okay.
Yeah. And when I can, I like going to card shops, playing tabletop games like Dungeons and Dragons, and play chess sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your strongest character in Dungeons and Dragons?
I'm always a rogue, but my most favorite character that I ever did was I based it off of Krunk from The Emperor's New Groove.
Okay.
And he really wanted to be a rogue, but I just put all of his stats against that to where he was just constantly failing.
Okay.
And it was amazing.
All right. I think I'm gonna call gymnast a lie.
I think so too.
Right, because it's
Yeah.
like
You had to think about it.
No, he went the sawhorse, and in my head I'm like, you mean the parallel bars? Gotcha.
That one wasn't convincing. So are you in a metal band now? Or you just play for fun?
I'm not. So I mean, I do have a little drum kit in my back room. So I have a little man cave. I like to play the drum set back there. I have the electronic kit.
Oh, nice.
Then I also reload too. So
Okay.
I'm sitting there banging out a couple tracks and then banging out a couple rounds of 5.56 and 308. And
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay, so don't you have a drum kit in the chapel?
Not yet.
Why not?
What?
Well, we used to back in Texas.
Okay.
Back when Chap Morris and I were first deployed together in 2013.
Yeah.
And it absolutely drove him up a wall playing the drum set all the time.
Right.
And when I first got back in the office here, he's like, if you bring a drum set back, you're not going to be working for me in the Chaplain Corps anymore.
Right. Oh, but how many days a week is he in the building? Like, he's not. There's like.
Depends on the quarter in the week.
Right. Okay.
That's a
Fair
safe
deal.
answer.
Fair deal.
Good morning. It's season 3 of GI and a Cup of Joe. Thank you all for making seasons 1 and 2 a huge success. Again, I'm your co-host, Annie T.
And I am Justin C. It's pretty badass to hear all these stories of how everyday regular people with everyday regular struggles took a chance to better themselves with the opportunities in the Idaho Army National Guard.
And they didn't just do it for themselves, they did it for their families, future, past, and present. Officially, I'm Sergeant First Class Annie Torres.
And I am Command Sergeant Major Justin Cole. We encourage everyone listening to dress right dress.
Which is like, share, and subscribe.
Enjoy Season 3. Okay, so today we're talking to officially Staff Sergeant Colton Sabala, but honestly, he's just Colton to us. So let's go back to high school. Where did you attend high school, and what kind of student were you?
Well, I attended high school in Filer, Idaho. And freshman to junior year, I was almost a straight A student. And typically, like as most seniors do, their
You met a
senior
girl?
year. I met a girl pretty early on.
Okay, never mind. It wasn't a
But
girl.
my senior year was awkward though. I always made friends with the classmates above me, and my senior year I didn't know anybody because I didn't hang out with my own classmates, and I only went to school from like 8 to 11, so I had a bunch of releases. But that senior year I got senioritis, and my 3.7, 3.8 went down to like a 2.2.
Maximizing the minimum.
Yeah.
But when you blend it all together, that's easily like a 3.1, right? Graduation?
Yeah, for
Right?
sure. I
It's a good
mean,
average.
I was just surprised I got 2.2 off of 3 classes.
Nice.
The average didn't come out.
All right.
What were some of your favorite subjects in school?
Music for sure. I was in jazz band a lot. I did drama for a little bit. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed history class. I loved history. As far back as I can remember, I was always watching Discovery Channel, History Channel, all the fun stuff like that. Definitely not math. I went to school in Filer, so
Jazz band
yeah.
and drama.
Another one of us.
Like we need a board,
I think so.
right?
There's been a lot of them.
Yeah.
We were
Oh,
both in band and theater, so It's just weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm stuck on the connections.
I know.
Right? I literally know nothing about you, and you come in here on the podcast, and you're just basically like, there's a template for the people that have come to the podcast and talked to us, and like you're fitting the template.
Oh, nice.
So apparently, when you want to serve in the Idaho Army National Guard, you have to play the band, be in theater, somewhat into gymnastics / cheerleading.
Dance of some sort.
Some sort of dance, yep. Let's go back to your senior year,
Mm-hmm.
right? What kind of path did you think that you would have at 17 or 18? Like, did you have your eye on a goal, or were you just like, oh, God, what do I do?
I was thinking about nursing, to be honest with you. I was going through, I was taking a bunch of dual credit classes for advanced placement for medical stuff, anything from advanced A&P to medical terminology, anything I can get my hands on through College of Southern Idaho. And then I started doing the CNA class, and the classroom practical portion was really cool. But what the changer was the first time I showed up to do my clinicals, and I walked in the nursing home there in Buhl, Idaho, and just the smell of urea. I'm like, yeah, I can't do this, dude. And I walked out, and my teacher's like, oh, it's okay. You can come back. I'll come back with you, and we'll do clinicals together. I'm like, yeah, it sounds like a great plan. And then she calls me back the next week, like, what the HE double hockey sticks? You dropped the class? I'm like, yeah, it's not for me.
Do you have kids?
I do, one.
And it doesn't bother you, like changing diapers and...
No, she's been pretty good, actually. No, it doesn't bother me. I don't know.
Okay.
I like doing something practically, because like if it like serves a purpose doesn't bother me.
He is in the Chaplain Corps,
I am.
so
I am.
just make a note of that.
But yeah,
Okay.
so that was my change of heart. So when I was sitting there and I was panicking, I'm like, it's my senior year. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna freak out. I did do my SAT score, but I had a bunch of military representative in my family, and I'm like, well, let's go take the ASVAB. So and I did really well on the practice ASVAB. I'm like, sweet, I can pretty much be anything I want. And then I take the real ASVAB, and I didn't have to take math my senior year, and my practice score is like 85, 90, and I got like a 54 because of the math portion. But it was a win.
Yeah, it's still a
Yeah,
win.
it's
Like
still a win.
the door's still open.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, did you come in as a chaplain?
I did. So I had three choices. I had medic, paralegal, and then chaplain assistant, what's now called religious affairs. So I threw the medic right out the window because my math score was too low. I was queued up to be a paralegal. I went to MEPS. I think it was like the third week of January in 2011, and was getting ready to raise my right hand and as a paralegal. And then the mean old lady with like the crooked fingers sitting there, and the master sergeant, crusty lady, she's all like, she looked at me, she's like, you need to go back. You came here with the driving permit? I mean, it was a lot. That was the PG version. Like,
Yeah.
That was the first time I got cussed out and yelled at by an NCO. And so I went back to Twin Falls and did my driving test, written, failed the written. I had to do it again, and got the driving portion all figured out, and told my recruiter, Sergeant First Class Jesus Gonzalez. I'm like, hey, I finally passed my driving test. He's like, you're so stupid. He's like, can you pass this time if you go to MEPS again? I'm like, we'll see. So January 3rd comes around, I go, and then magically something happened, and paralegal's not available anymore. So they're like, well, your only choice left is infantry, cook, MP, or chaplain assistant. I'm like, cool, let's go to the chaplain assistant because I'm going to be a bodyguard. So, yeah, there you go. So 12 years of bodyguard.
Let's talk about the chaplains thing, right?
Yeah.
When I take a look at that, like there's a lot of hard jobs in the military, right? But I think the chaplain's job is the hardest, right? Because on a daily, every time I screw up, nobody's watching me. I'm like, oh, good, nobody saw that, right? But every time you screw up, you're like, yeah, somebody saw me. Somebody saw me do that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't do that.
It's not that bad. It's like a personality thing, to be honest with you. There's some people that I see that are just, complete introverts, and they really struggle in them wise. And when you get somebody that's pretty extroverted like me, already kind of like that like theater gymnast type thing, right?
Right.
Jazz band, jazz hands. It's pretty easy. I mean, like you walk in and you're kind of essentially the cheerleader for the unit. You're going in there. But the really cool, awesome thing is you get to learn a lot about your soldiers and everything from, I've talked to generals and I've talked to E1s, that come seek me for counsel, for confidential talking, and it's really cool. I get to just see so many cool things and get to help people out and see them and like turn the gears in their head and see them implement that in their leadership to their soldiers, and it's great. It's really awesome. I mean, it's really intense sometimes. There's a lot of dark parts of our job, but there's a lot of good parts too. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that first enlistment, it was hard. Because I mean, AIT is short. They can teach you so much, but you literally just kind of have to go through it and see everything, and then it just clicks, and then it's cool.
So let's go back when you first chose the Guard. Why did you choose that branch over active duty or something else?
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, you
So, no, my mom would not let me join the Navy. I was pretty hell-bent on wanting to join the Navy because I was pretty big into, like, you know, nautical history. So, you know, to include militaries, pirates, and I was just a big nerd about that. I've always wanted to be on some type of a boat. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to go fly the pirate sail, so, you know, let's join the Navy. And I had to, you know, I liked the old school, like, Sailor Jerry tattoos, and I'm covered in them, you know, myself as well. But, you know, the Navy history was really cool to me, you know, and it's just I really wanted to join that. I had some uncles that were in the Navy, had some really cool, funny stories about it. I'm like, yeah, sounds pretty fun. You know, they've been to places like Istanbul and Greece and you name it. If there's a port, they've been to it. It sounded really fun. But my mom's like, I'm not going to send my young man on a boat so he can go die on a boat somewhere. But I have friends in the National Guard and they're safe. They don't do much. So I'm like, okay. So I joined signed the dotted line because I couldn't wait the 6 months to turn 18 and join the Guard. And joke's on you, Mom. I've deployed twice and worked full time. Thanks for your prayer.
Talk to us about basic training. What was that experience like for you?
Oh, I'm not gonna lie, my family set me up for failure. Being a bunch of prior services, like, we have the perfect thing for you. They're like, be that guy that does everything, but don't over volunteer, but don't under volunteer. But, you know, just stay good and you'll be good. You'll float and you'll make it through basic. You won't have to do any leadership, nothing. I'm like, that sounds great. I get to basic. And
man.
honestly, that was it was fun. Fort Jackson, relaxing Jackson. I don't know about other people, but ours wasn't so relaxing Jackson. They told us that from the get-go.
That nickname has been there since '93 when I went,
Yeah.
and it wasn't relaxing.
No,
It wasn't for me either.
They grilled it hard.
Too.
I mean, like, they did, like, you know, they called it the chocolate water slide, where they, like, put, like, the water on the ground with the hose. We all had to go through it, and oh man, it was bad. It was fun though. It made basic go by so quick. If you ask me, like, certain things, it just kind of melded, to be honest with you. But I mean, not to be corny, but, like, it instilled some basic leadership, you know, skills in me pretty quick. Like, when I got to BLC later, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, I'm, like, miles ahead, and this is all just from what I learned when I was in E3. Like, you know, like, drill and ceremony, this is cool. So yeah, that's kind of basic for me.
That's
You
good.
just kind of asked or answered my next question was, what did you take away from boot camp, like leadership-wise? Did you feel you learned stuff to help you succeed?
Oh yeah, and honestly, I don't even really think it was. I'm not saying, like, basic combat training is not effective, but honestly, I give all my thanks to the RSP program.
Greatest accomplishment to date?
Oh, easy. Being a father. Yeah. Yeah,
I like
it was
that
really
one.
cool. Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
Just one.
Just one.
Just one, and we're thinking that might be the one that we're gonna have. Not that we're not trying. It's just, you know, it's. I don't know. I think it's what God has in the cards for us, and it's really cool. You know, I'd always wanted to be a dad. Like, you watch those old 1990s corny videos, and you walk up, and here's my cousin. What do you want to be? Like, I want to be a princess. I want to be Buzz Lightyear. Colton, what do you want to be? Oh, I think I want to be a dad. And I want to have 14 kids, and these are all their names. And I don't know. I just kind of panicked there a little bit too. Panic right through my life. I was an anxious kid from a divorce. So I was always trying to people please. So I was really worried about, like, you know, not being able to keep the bloodline going. And when I became a father, it wasn't just that, but, you know, it's so cool watching how fast your life changes and you don't even have a say in it. You know,
Yeah.
it just boom.
But it's always for the better.
Yeah, it's
Like
so
when
much better.
when the family's there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So like, you know, males go through puberty and then they're adults by 18, right? I'm a firm believer that we go through puberty again at 25. And then I went through puberty again at 27 when I became a dad.
Yeah.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
It is.
Mm-hmm. So really, my wife was like raising 2 kids, me and my daughter, that first year.
Yeah.
How old is your daughter now?
She's giving me 3 in 2 weeks.
If you could give advice to high school students who are stressed about their future, what would that advice be?
Don't rush, don't sweat, and just realize that you're young. And and you might be going in through a very stressful moment in time. But just if I can go back and tell myself to go breathe and just trust the process. And if you're uncomfortable, that's a good thing. You're getting outside your comfort zone. That's what I would tell myself. I mean, I still panic. I just
easier said than done.
I've learned to look really happy, cool down here, and then tread like crazy down here.
Yeah.
Sometimes we all do
That's
that.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is everybody.
Yeah.
That's the Navy part of you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, man. Now, I know that this is an endorsement from the man upstairs, but I got to ask you this question, right?
Okay.
Is Sasquatch real?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll take that as an endorsement from the man upstairs.
Yeah, of course.
Do you have any stories? Have you seen him or anything?
Oh, man. I don't know. We saw some pretty creepy stuff up in Stanley, Idaho when we were hunting a couple times.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like I was sitting down there and we were hunting for coyotes, and it was right above Lower Stanley where they have those rent-a-cabins next to the river.
Yeah.
Yep. And we just kind of pulled off there to the left, and we walked up a few miles and just sitting there and nodding off, and all of a sudden I hear like this knocking, and this tree falls over, and there's some running down there. Oh, it scared the crap out of me.
Yeah?
Oh, man, I dropped my gun. I ran down the hill, and I didn't know what was going on. Lo and behold, though, I hear this laughing, and my dad had pushed over a tree. And
Yeah.
I'd actually peed my pants. It was so scary.
Oh, man.
But, I mean, I don't know. It's not far-fetched to think that Sasquatch could be real.
Yeah, I don't.
I
It's
definitely think
definitely
he's
not
real.
far-fetched.
Yeah, no, he's definitely real.
Okay. Well, we are out of time for today. Join us next Wednesday for another episode of GI and a Cup of Joe.
As we said in the beginning of the podcast, please dress right dress and enjoy your week.